to this exciting episode of Bob the Sign Man. Today I'm going to make object markers, and I'll show you how we do that. Um, Here's what an object marker looks like. Okay, they're used whenever we put up the arrow signs or sometimes a keep right sign. Anyways, so here's how I make them. You have to put the the border around it. So what I do is I start off with the 18 by 18 is what we make ours in a diamond shape. And here's my 18 by 18. I have it all set up and it's got a 1.5 inch radius around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the effects and I'm going to outline that. And I'm going to go 0.375. It's going to be the offset and the thickness will be 0.375. I'm going to turn that, right now you can see it's on the outside. So I'm going to come inline on that. And then I'm going to want to do that black. See how it shows up there? And I'll just click OK. And so there's my object marker. Well, this is going to be yellow. Let's just turn that yellow. So that's basically right here is what our object marker is going to look like. I'll go ahead and hide that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of the outside border right now. We're just going to move it out of the way. And so what I want to do is you can't just cut this out. If you do, you're going to waste that whole inside. So what I do, let's just turn this into a wireframe. It's easier to look at. Is I'll come in here. Let me bring in some lines, and I'm going to cut my radius. I want to cut like right here and here. So what I want to do is I want to cut these radius like I have up here. And then I want to cut this straight line here. So what I do is I'll come in and I'll take my chopping tool here. And I'm just going to make a cut here and a cut here. And I'll come down and I'll cut this here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'll get rid of these reference lines. They're easier to look at when you don't have them around. So now what I did is you can see the chop marks I made. So this is going to be my select tool. So that's going to be my radius. Pull this away. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut these out and then I'm going to cut these out. But what I want to do is this is going to have to be a little bit longer so I have a little bit of overlap. So otherwise it's not going to fit in there very well. Let's go 6.0 and just hit the enter. So what we did is we lengthened it up a little bit. And then what I want to do is I'm going to send this off to the plotter, to the cutter. And you can see all the stripes I'm going to make. I've got 36-inch in there, and I'm going to cut down on some of these. I just want to make one row of them. So where it says copies, see how I'm deleting the copies. So now I can cut all those out, and I'll have the little strips. I'll show you those when they're cut out. And then what I want to do is send these off to the cutter, and we'll send those off. And I can finish off the row so I don't have any extra space that's not used. Just send those off. And now I have all my corners cut. And then we just send those off to the cutter and we're ready to start assembling the sign. Okay, so here's my 18 by 18. And what I did is I have a bunch of these set up. I have various sizes. Here's 3/8, 5/8. I have 3/4, 6.75, which is 1/2 inch. So then what I do is I take it, since it's already labeled and set up, I put the little marks around. You can see the marks. So I know that that's going to be the outside of the border. So I showed you the how I broke up the strips. What I did then is I just cut them out on the PC film, and I have a whole series of them. And what I do then and I did the same thing with the round curves. I have those cut in, and I put the transfer tape on them, and because they're hard to work with by themselves. So I have a whole series of corners, and what I do is I just peel off the strips, and since I already have my marks on there, I just kind of try to get the center as much as I can on both sides. Okay, and then these strips just peel right off. This side. And then the last side. Okay, now I have all four borders around. Now I want to put the rounded curves on, which I already have here. As you can see, it's just a matter of lining them up. I just peel off the backing, and I still have the transfer tape. So I can see through the transfer tape on how these are going to line up. So I line up this side. And when you have it lined up, then you just peel off the transfer tape. Once that's done, I'm just going to go ahead and run it through the roller. Alright, well here we go. Here's the object marker. I've cut the holes out. This particular sign blank that I have, you can mount it both ways. You can mount it like this or like this. For this particular sign, we mount it on the diagonal, and it's called the object marker OM-1. Sometimes we make them red. We'll put red EC over white. It's got the 3/8 of an inch offset with the 3/8 of an inch border that goes around it. And it'll save you a lot of time. Well, not so much time, but money too, because otherwise, if you just try to cut out the border and tape it up, it's going to be you're going to waste all this area. So when time and money is a factor, who are you going to turn to? That's right, you're going to turn to the sign man. As always, thanks for watching.